a brick, and all these is watching, and nobody does nothing.
This is the same woman that was going around smacking white people in the streets. She's not innocent. She was actually taunting the guy to hit her. She is literally a troublemaker. Everybody
that he does not find attractive, he is not familiar with, or he does not like. He is not only useless, but he is incredibly dangerous. With the men in your life you see do nothing to defend women on a regular basis, you need to remove them quickly.
In the video, there are at least 5 guys who sat by and did nothing while she got hit in the face. I've shown time and time again that you're not the world's protectors or providers because you consistently show that you only care about things that you can own or possess. And when she said no to him, they took it as a no across the board and did nothing. Not a representation of everyone, right? Wrong, because then the internet got in on it, and the comments from men are terrifying. From attacks on her appearance to people saying that she wasn't worth protecting in the first place because she made a video prior calling out the fact that men were not the protectors or the providers.
Another episode of nonsense. But not just nonsense in any manner. These things raise some questions.
If you've been following anything on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, any other of these social medias, sooner or later you've come across this woman, Somalian woman from Houston, who was hit in the face with a brick from a gentleman she claims that she just, their only interaction was just her not giving him her phone number, right? So that's what allegedly happened. And then you have people that have come forth saying that that whole day she was pranking people or doing skits, you know, some skits which people may or may not have been privy to or been a part of. Who knows? These are all allegations as well. And somehow this spiraled into a whole case because she claims what in her video where she was distressed that all these men watched me get hit in the face with a brick and no one is doing nothing, and now social media is in a frenzy and talking about whether or not men are protectors or men aren't this, men aren't that. It's just been used as a catalyst for pink pillars essentially, or extreme feminists, would you say? Something
Kind
like that.
Sort of, but
it's just a catalyst for certain people with a certain vendetta against certain types of men to just spew more vitriol.
True. It's
what are your thoughts?
It's literally the same thing that Red Pill does, just on a different same shit, different day. But it does raise that question that the whole, should all men be accountable for that situation when that happened, right? Obviously we don't have all the details, right? Eventually everything is going to come to light at some point. But and that's a big but. What we're seeing, and as men that have some years on this, not too old, but you know, have some years on this. We've always heard that men have to be this. You have to be strong, and you can't you can't cry. You can't show emotions. You're the protector. You're this. You're that. Right, and that's understandable, but in a day-to-day situation, majority of the time, most people aren't paying attention to the next person. They're trying to go from point A to point B. And if you see something like that happen, for the average person, it's shocking. It's like, oh, shit.
Yes.
From my experience, majority of the time, when something like that happens, it's usually men usually jump in after
the fact. Yeah.
After the fact. And they see, okay, well, this woman needs help.
For example, it's they've been comparing it to certain people have been comparing it to the incident with the boats. Mm-hmm. How the guy, threw his head up and all the black men came to help him. But you got to keep in mind, by the time people came to help him, he already got pieced up.
Yeah, it's like
on the flip side of that coin, she was in a similar situation. She got attacked, but I'm not sure if she ran away or the person ran away. But by the time people were reacting, the other individual was not on the scene.
I mean,
what can you protect her from? And it makes me go, this is very presumptuous of women to think that men are just watching their each and every move and is staring at her going back and forth with this random guy, right? I'm assuming they had a little bit of a back and forth. And was just watching that conversation so much that they expect these men to just come out of nowhere, jump in front of the brick. And take the brick in the face for her. But that's not how violence works.
That's not how violence works. That's not how life works. Like, by no means do either of us, and I know I can speak on both of us, by no means do either of us ever condone this type of behavior. And
it's terrible.
And this is why, a few videos back we talked about stuff like this, holding men accountable to a certain extent, especially if you're a man and you don't have your feelings in check, where you feel like you have to physically assault a woman because she wouldn't give you your number. The problem isn't with her or women. The problem is with you, right?
And you shouldn't even be trying to talk to women in that case.
No.
If that's how it is,
if that's how you think it is, you shouldn't even be trying to talk to women. Now that I've said that part, that's out the way. But, and it's bad to say this, and people get mad. What did she do?
What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
What's the ad? They're like, oh, well, it's automatic. You shouldn't ask that question.
Because it's like she started recording after the fact.
We don't know what happened before. And that's not to take away from
the fact that it happened.
These things happen. Like, he has sisters, I have sisters. I've seen and I've heard horror stories from my female relatives. Like, these things happen, right? I'm usually not to the extreme, but like, from Chicago, we've heard a chick, I don't want you. Fuck you there, bitch.
Yeah,
I got all this money.
It happens.
And like, this shit happens.
It happens a lot at your local gas station.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. You keep it moving.
You keep it moving, yeah.
And we get that women are in danger, and we're not neglecting that. We're not pushing that. We're not pushing that to the side. But from what a lot of I want to say a certain community that are saying all men are trash, and all men aren't protectors. They're not providers. There's a big lapse in judgment, and not knowing. Like, and this is the thing that people don't understand. Unless you know what violence is, physical, real violence. Like, you are going to be really hesitant about putting yourself in certain situations that can end with a death. I'm glad that she's not. She looks like she's gonna be fine. She's not dying, but
she was fine enough to hop on the internet.
You get hit. I've been hit with a fucking bottle, right? You get hit.
Dude, I've been hit with all sorts of shit.
Like, it's just.
Let's not go into the pain Olympics.
Dude. But I'm just saying is just like that violent aspect, and the fact that a lot of women want men to put their life on the line, and I've heard that. Oh, well, you're not. The only reason you're not doing it is because we're not dating you.
You're not attracted to us.
We're not attracted to us, and it's not somebody you love. And
this is Earth, sweetie.
Yes,
nobody owes you a damn thing.
And in reality, like, you are supposed to make it to your family at the end of the day. Not even trying to sound harsh or
victim blame or
victim, because this is not what it is.
Just I got a whole story regarding this, but this is just in regards to men who stood around. It's about getting home to your family first off and foremost, and after the fact that this person probably ran off and she just took a brick to the face, there's nothing you can do besides call the police.
Would you call it drive-by bricking?
Yeah, yes, you would call it the drive-by bricking. She was bricked up. But the story I have to tell is that bystander syndrome is real. And it's so real to the point to where you can walk up to the person, shoot them, walk off, and a lot of people won't really have a reaction. Reaction. Shit. They're just shocked, right? Exactly. But if I don't owe you anything,
I'm not.
Like
it just makes it's like a lot of things now. Just people just have these unrealistic expectations of things, right? Because, like, obviously, like, as a man that a protector is your like that is something that is inherent.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Well, like you were
it's
saying,
inherent,
bystander
but
syndrome.
you gotta. Most people only going to protect what they know, what matters to them. They're not going to protect every stranger.
Or if it's a decent sized group of the right men,
right?
But
right
but remember,
exactly. But not all men
remember,
are
it always starts with one man and then everybody. It's that one,
starts
and then
with
it's
one
like,
brave dude.
Let's
mob them.
Let's mob them. Let's control
Yeah.
the situation. And
but there wasn't those type of men, and the men who came forth in videos weren't those type of men. They weren't those type of men.
You can tell.
You can tell just by the look.
Tell.
You can look in their face.
You can look at
they're
their
not
face.
those type of men to jump into the fire.
They're literally.
They were.
Oh, she got hit in the face with a brick. Shit.
Doing that weird shit.
Recording it.
Yeah, recording it. Yeah. They look like a bunch of them new niggas, man.
It's a bunch of new niggas.
Them new niggas, man. They're so trash.
There's a lot of trash.
We started talking shit about niggas after defending.
Well, we're talking about a certain type.
That's a certain type of man. There's a type of man who would come to everybody's defense, protect everybody, and there's a certain type of man that will run. Mm-hmm. Those were the running type.
Those were the running type. Like,
those
weren't the type of guys that you were gonna.
So can you say it's all men at this point? No. But it's a certain type of man.
It's a certain type of man for sure.
But are we responsible for protecting? Like, are they responsible for protecting this random woman who may or may not have been belligerent in the streets from the consequences of her actions? Mind you, no consequences should have been hit her from saying turning the dude down.
That shouldn't have been.
But if there was something else going on there, because it do take two people to tango, are these men really responsible for defending an asshole?
Who it comes down to responsibility and accountability, right? Obviously, we still don't have all the information, right? But when all the information comes out and we see what really happened, and this is by me, if there was no provocation and all she did was tell no, I don't want, like, I'm dating somebody or whatever she said. Even if she said it with an attitude, that is okay because women get pestered on a regular, right? Yeah. As long as she's not even saying that she physically put her hands on it, because that's still not an excuse to hit a woman with a brick, right? And but I'm saying if we find that out and then we realize that those men did nothing and they seen that, those are bitch ass niggas. Right,
and you just got to chuck that up to the game. There's always going to be people that stare at you while you get jumped.
Yeah, there's always going to be people like that.
There's always going to be like that.
You know,
and if all men are to blame for the actions of certain men, a certain percentage of the population, then that's the same as the stereotype that women hate. That where if they dress a certain way, they are a certain way, or they get treated like a whore for hanging around whores.
Yeah,
it's just as silly.
It's silly. It's silly rhetoric that just divides, especially us within the black community. It just divides us. But going back to what we were saying, like who should be held accountable, and at this point, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I can't give you
live in a world
concise answer.
We live in a world where we can blame the person. We can blame the person's parents. A lot of people from the previous generation, our generation, was raised in single parent households. So can we blame women? No, I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying.
Or we can do on the other side. Or can we
blame men
for not being there? It's just like. Then you get that back and forth.
It's the back and forth. It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle of hatred.
Who can out trauma who? Like who had it
It's
worse?
the trauma Olympics.
It just turns into the trauma Olympics at that point.
And eventually, people of the internet got to wake up.
Wake the fuck up, samurai.
Wake the fuck up.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.